les bleus. Allez les bleus.
Kazakhstan.
Yay!
Hop, hop, hop. Rozskacze leniczek. Hop, hop, hop.
Please welcome Team France. Tervetuloa Ranskan joukkue. And please welcome Team Kazakhstan. Tervetuloa Kazakhstanin joukkue. The game officials for this game have been licensed and assigned by the International Ice Hockey Federation. Tämän ottelun tuomarit on nimennyt kansainvälinen jääkiekkoliitto. The referees, päätuomari Robin Sir.
It's day 3 of the World Hockey Championship, Game 2 here in Helsinki between France and Kazakhstan. As Kazakhstan tries to climb off the mat after a 9-1 loss yesterday to Denmark. Referees are Robin Sir and Peter Stano from the Czech Republic and Slovakia, respectively. Tommy Nitila from Finland, Emil Jotanen from Finland are the linesmen. Just the 4th all-time meeting between these two countries at the World Championship. They've both been up and down. Philippe Bozon's team was relegated in 2019, was added to this year's tournament as the top-ranked team, along with Austria, and Russia and Belarus were sent out. Yuri Mihailovic's team was promoted in 2019 and survived relegation that year. A pretty good performance last year, as they mentioned won 4 games, 2 of them in overtime, beat Latvia and Finland in OT, but narrowly missed out on a quarterfinal spot. They tied with Canada for the last quarterfinal spot in their group.
Seems like an impossibility given what we saw yesterday.
And it's basically the same team. It's 20 of the 22 players are the same.
It was as disorganized an effort defensively as we have seen in this tournament in quite some time. And wonder how much recalibration was done overnight to get them on point.
Henri Bus is the starting goaltender once again for the French. He allowed 3 goals on 27 shots against Slovakia. That was a 2-2 game in the second period. And actually France had a breakaway, turned away, so it was a closer game than you might expect. This is a game that both these teams would have circled. If you're trying to avoid relegation, the winner of this will have a giant step ahead. As a rule, 3 points will be enough to get you out of relegation. It has happened. Teams of 4 points have been relegated, but it's not very common. In comes Thierry with it. Plays that down to Valentin Clareau, the veteran for France. And that long shot bounces down in front, taken by Pierre Crinon. And the save is made early on by Andrei Shutov, who had a tough day. He was allowed 5 goals on 18 shots against the Danes, was pulled in the second period.
Did not last very long. He'll be happy to get a couple saves in, touch the puck early, and rebuild his confidence. But you're right. Both teams will look at this game. They know Italy's in the pool as well. And if they can win one of these games in regulation, that's probably going to be good enough to make sure that they do not go back down, which is a huge deal.
Well, and for France, it was a ultimately bitter, disappointing pill to swallow, as diving at that was Penyukov trying to play it ahead. The French lost to Great Britain, as that's chipped ahead by Fleury. They lost to Great Britain in overtime in Slovakia. They were up 3-0 in that game. They lose it 4-3 in overtime. They get relegated. So that's one problem. Now, the 2020 promotion tournament canceled.
Right.
The 21 promotion tournament canceled. This year, they would have tried to win promotion, but they were given a leg up along with Austria as the 2 top-ranked teams that were outside the World Championship. So they've been out since 2019, and for Philippe Bozon, that's a huge problem because they're trying to build the sport in their country, and being a second division team is not the way to do it.
Yeah, but they look at their group in this tournament.
Oh, wraparound try there. Starchenko just missed. Another chance. That one taken by Bekateev. And 2 good scoring chances there for Kazakhstan.
Yeah, Starchenko would have recognized how much open space was. He might have tried to wrap that in himself on the first turnover. He's got Buse on the wrong post following the reverse for the defenseman. He intercepted it and had a open net for sending it up in front of Bekateev.
Bekateev, one of the majority of players in this Kazakh team who plays for Baris Nursultan. Some of the players are full-time there, others are part-time. And switch through to other leagues, but that's where this national team is headquartered. Back up to center ice it goes, and Johan Avatiu goes back to pick it up. Plays here in Helsinki for IFK, which plays in this rink. And Jesse Blacker, the Toronto native, goes back to pick it up. Kazakhstan missing Darren Dietz, the Medicine Hat native, who was injured in the KHL playoffs, as Charles Bertrand drops that back. Perreault shot, and Shutov makes the save on that. Perreault back for Bertrand, fires, he ripped that high. That went right tower. That went right by the ear of Jordan Perret.
I'm screening over here. Somewhere near the net would be nice. We'll see if
you said that before, by the way.
If you're gonna put him up there, you better hit a corner.
Bertrand goes after it. Looking back in the corner for Perret. That's picked out by Blacker. And Blacker spins back.
Already a little more organized for Kazakhstan based off of their previous performance.
I mean, the Danes, they're up 3-0 5 minutes in.
They're shredded, though. They're just giving up chance after glorious chance.
Got a players-only meeting.
That's tough, one game in.
Now a drop back. Here's Volk with a shot. Goes off a skate and wide. Curtis Volk, the Medicine Hat native. And now Fleury walks around Mihalis. Fabian Fleury centers it and just missed Texier with that pass. And back comes Starchenko the other way. Roman Starchenko, the Kazakh captain, winds his way in. Drops it back, and another good shot there taken by Bekateev.
Something to watch for early in this game. We've already seen it a couple times. Texier likes to leak out of the defensive zone. Every time there's a shot to the net, he kind of blows coverage. You can't get a quick turnover and a break.
Kevin Bozon knocks that back down to the Kazakh zone. Kevin and Tim Bozon, the sons of France coach Philippe Bozon. Svedberg moves out ahead to pass, misfired. Icing called as Victor Svedberg, the Kazakh defenseman, misfired on that one.
Both coaches in this game have their son playing for them.
Yeah.
As you mentioned, Philippe with two sons. Here Mihalis has Nikita, who was very good for him last year, even though he felt the wrath of dad / coach a couple times. There's Philippe Bozon on the left. That's York Trey on the right, whose brother, Sasha, plays for him. So
still playing.
All in the family on the coaching staff.
They're from Grenoble. And Sasha plays there for the French League champions, the Ligue Magnus it's called. There's a hand pass called at center ice. So they'll qualify for the Champions League next year.
Nice.
So it's an opportunity to get some more exposure. See Louis Boudon plays for Lake Superior State, the NCAA, in his third year there. He's the captain at Lake State.
How cool would that be? I mean, Lake State was in the CCHA when I played against Bowling Green. Can you imagine playing for your national team when you're in college? That would be just tremendous.
Now move back across. That sharp angle shot taken there by Shestkov and turned away by Bus. We mentioned Kazakhstan survived relegation in 2019. They've been relegated their 5 previous appearances of that. The French relegation was a real bitter pill, as we mentioned. They've been in the top division for 12 years prior to that.
You want to get in that kind of run of consistency where you can build a program and not just try to stay afloat year after year.
Kevin Bozon centers it and miscuing that wide was Nicholas Ritz. Jesse Blacker goes flying into his man as he bumps into Kevin Bozon.
A dasher board on the back of Volk's jersey. Cut those pants. An advertisement.
It's like he's playing flag football out there. Volk slides ahead. You see him in the middle of the ice. He's got the red trail behind him. And a chance score. Walking in is Orahov. And Valery Orahov gives Kazakhstan the lead.
I think this went off his skate, but did he kick it? As I want to check the tablets instantly. IIHF driving double lane drive here. Curtis Volk with the ad banner all the way to the back door.
This is going to be reviewed.
And we've seen a couple of these already. Well, that's good.
That's a goal. He didn't do anything.
Didn't even move. Just as though he was turning.
Yeah. Didn't propel the puck into the net.
No kicking motion, no propulsion. Just was stopping and turning to control his speed. That was a carom redirect at best. This one should be good. And a good start for Kazakhstan early on, just over 5 minutes in. All the way across. Volk draws one attention and hits the back skate of IIHF and gets through the leg of Buse.
So IIHF, who scored once this year in the KHL for Paris Nur-Sultan.
Yeah. Saves them for when they matter most. He's opportunistic.
They've shown the replay here on the scoreboard.
He's confident. Yeah, he wasn't, IIHF wasn't even nervous. Gave it a casual nod, Barry Sanders. Act like you've been there before. Just another one to make 2 on the year.
So Kazakhstan, you know, you talk about it. Look, you got to regroup from that loss.
Yep.
You have a players-only meeting.
Right, which rarely work, but okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
They had a video session before dinner. That'll really get you in the mood to eat.
Yeah, spoil my appetite.
But come back with the first goal.
But in many ways, I mean, there is way down the list goal differential matters, but whether you lose 2-1 or 9-1, it doesn't matter. Loss is a loss.
Right. So you just
So park it, start over.
The trick here is to pick up 3 or 4 points on. Now for Kazakhstan last year, they were right in the mix, as we mentioned.
Last year, there's so many ties in overtime games. It got all muddied trying to figure out who was going where.
The Kazakhs beat Germany and Norway in regulation last year. So that's 6 points, and the 2 overtime wins over the Finns and Latvia. That was another 4 points, got them to 10, but they tied with Canada. They lost to the Canadians, and that's the difference between making the quarters and not. But a whole lot had to go right for Canada to get those 10 points, including getting at least to overtime against Finland in their last game, which they did. They lost it, but that single point got them into the quarterfinals, and then they won the gold medal.
We broke it all down. There's about 10 or 11 things that had to happen consecutively.
There was a whole it was a parlay, really, of a whole sequence of things that had to happen, and they all did. Kevin Bozon with it. Moves it up for Texier. Texier, the Columbus Blue Jackets slides out ahead. That shot knocked away by Shutov. Texier missed 42 games this year for Columbus with a broken finger. He was healthy to come back at the end of the year, but they didn't put him back in. Here's Texier with it. Fires it back down to the Kazakh zone as Yurkinon comes in for it. Big 6'5" defenseman for the French. Chopped at by Patuhov. Back around for Texier. At the point is Tiri. And Tiri's long shot. Knocked down by Shutov. Rebound and skipped away from Anthony Reck. Back at the point, Credon, another long shot. And that is stopped by Shutov. 12:39 to go here in the opening period. Kazakhstan is their new 1-0 lead on France at the World Hockey Championship. At last year's World Championship, Yuri Mihalis' team allowed a total of 18 goals, which is pretty impressive. Gave up 9 yesterday to Denmark.
It felt like yesterday had to be the aberration. Like, that couldn't be the way they play this year.
Right. Well, I mean,
can't be.
You think about it, over the course of a hockey season, lots of teams have a bad night. Reck with a long shot that gets blocked. Here's Terry with a chance, lifted high and wide.
But you rarely see a team get blown out in the playoffs.
Right. Loaded back down to the French zone, and icing call against Kazakhstan.
Your worst game gets much better when you're really dialed in than when you're not. And Kazakhstan just was not yesterday, but they've gotten off to a good start so far in this one. They have the lead. And they're a team that plays better with the lead.
Shevchenko. Except the Florida Panthers, doesn't everyone?
Yeah, Florida is the exception to that rule for sure.
How are they ever?
And the story, well, they can't do that in the playoffs, can they? Well, they just did it time and again to Washington.
Over to you. Up for Ritz, picked off at center ice.
He's in.
And here comes Kevin Bozon, but it's poked away by Blacker.
Really, Bozon doesn't trust the speed there. Could have dropped the shoulder and tried to turn the corner on Blacker, but felt like he was going to get caught.
Here's Bozon back with it. Plays in Switzerland. Ajol. That pass in front was knocked down and moved out by Pekatea. Shakishvili back for France. Up for Claro. To Bertrand. In comes Charles Bertrand. Centered it, knocked away from Claro. Plays it back, and that long shot taken there by Shakishvili and falling backwards. Shutov makes the save.
This line has been good for France. This Claro, Bertrand, and Pere line they've had a couple nice rush opportunities. This game almost feels like a battle in contrasting styles. It is like speed and quickness of France, who are smaller and faster, against the size and weight and forechecking of Kazakhstan. If France can get Kazakhstan going up and down the ice, they'll like their chances in that kind of game.
Right. Svedberg steps up. Novatiu has it back now for the French. Picked up by Damien Fleury, the French captain. Fleury playing in his 11th World Championship. Now the bouncing puck just skipped away from Savitsky. It was Savitsky who spoiled the shutout bid by Sebastian Damm, the goaltender for Denmark, with a shorthanded goal late in the third period. Svedberg shoots. Stop is made by Bus. Like a minute and a half to go in a 9-0 game. He scored a shorty to wipe out the shutout.
He was mad that Denmark put on their first power play unit, so he thought he'd go spoil the shutout with a shorty.
Asetov winds out of the zone and fires that down. Bus sweeps that away. Bus got caught for illegally playing the puck with the trapezoid. That was a rule instituted by the IIHF this year to bring it into alignment with the NHL, but the French haven't gone to it yet, so he's not used to playing with the trapezoid.
We watched him wondering, like, that should be so instinctive. What are you doing? But when they don't play with it in their domestic league, it makes a little bit more of an adjustment.
Baudon out the center ice. Finds Sacha Trail, a veteran, in his 12th World Championship. Now Reck picks off that pass. In shoots, ramps off the stick of Shevchenko. Up and out of play. 9:33 to go here in the first period. It's a 1-0 lead for Kazakhstan.
So when I count to 3, we should all shout Ale Ale. Kun lasken 3, huudetaan kaikki Ale Ale. Ready? 1, 2, 3. We can do better. We can do better. So again, 1, 2, 3.
They haven't always had great success internationally, but that is a sharp uniform.
The colors,
Yeah.
top shelf.
France.
I expect them to be stylish. It'll work.
Hosted the 1992 Olympics in Albertville. Ritz plays it back. Pinon. Back for Thierry. Try to carry that back in front. Now Kevin Bozon leaves it back in the corner. Comes in to help out his teammate Texier. As Texier got battered in the corner. Moved out by a Kolza. One player that the Kazakhs are without, Darren Dietz, we mentioned, is an important part of their team. The defenseman can really shoot it. The captain of that Barrister Sultan team. He's sitting about 20 meters to our right in the stands watching this game.
Shaking up on his playoff run, which just ended.
Yeah, played for CSKA Moscow, which won the KHL championship. Perot backhands that rink wide. Bertrand goes after it. He got bumped off the puck by Svedberg. Now Mihalis back to center right. The puck rolled off his stick. Offside called at the French line.
Mihalis is a crafty little player. He's good with the puck. He picked up the primary assist on the goal. When you get him a little open space, him and Volk have great chemistry together. Like just about everyone in Kazakhstan, not a banner first game for him.
Right.
He's got to deal with dad being coach.
Blacker winds it in. Backhanding it back is Savitsky. Puck loose at center ice. Timothy Bozon, number 94. Swings it across to Yorka. And Blacker goes back for it. Being shouted by Yorka. Now the goal scorer, Rehov, has it. Like a lot of these Kazakh players, Rehov has a lot of experience playing in Division 1A and Division 1B tournaments, trying to get Kazakhstan to top divisions at the under-18s, the World Junior Championship, and the World Championship. We mentioned they won promotion in the 2019 Division 1A tournament.
And you look at the stats for the country, there's not a lot of arenas, registered players, male or female, in Kazakhstan. So they are pulling from a small pool to begin with, which is why you see some North Americans or import-style players that have earned their passport and now can play.
So there's a real discussion about that among development people, whether that's good or bad. Two things. Is it good to have a lot of foreign players, join your national team? And is it better to have a foreign coach or a domestic coach? What matters more?
Well, you're trying to find a balance. You don't want all import players, foreign players, but you also need to be good enough to sell the team.
Centering pass is knocked away. Asetov brings it back out. Asetov in on the forecheck. Oh, that's a big hit in the corners. Wiped out Hugo Gallet.
He's kind of on his way down awkwardly to begin with. Or he just returned the favor and carried Petuhov from behind with the cross check. 4-on-3 if they go. Gotta go.
And that backhand pass ahead is knocked away by Metalnikov.
One of those forwards has to be just screaming, 4. We have 4. He's telling, do not dump this in. We need to make plays on this rush.
Ritz across to Kevin Bozon. That's broken up. Now back down to the French zone. And the first man there is Shevchenko for Kazakhstan. Shevchenko feeds that back. And it bounced away from Samet Denayar. Almost a breakaway the other way for the French. And now brought in by Guillaume Leclerc. Backhands it back in front. Loose puck. And Ritz couldn't quite reach it. That long shot by Overtu is blocked. And a Colson plays it back out. talk about foreign coaches. The Czech Republic just hired Jukka Jalinen as their national team head coach.
First national team coach not from the Czech Republic in 80 years. So
they're looking for a way to kickstart their program, but there is a train of thought that it should be a domestic coach leading your program.
I understand that, but John Herdman leading our Canadian soccer program. If the quality is not available internally, you have to go externally to find it.
Here's Perret, Jordan Perret. Turns it over, kept alive and fired back in by Mihalis. Looks down for Panyakov. And a sharp angle shot taken there by Mihalis is turned away by Bus, and the puck bounces off the glass. Up and out of play. 5:21 to go in the first period. Kazakhstan a 1-0 lead on France.
We sure know how to dance because our hips don't lie. But can you dance the referee dance? We will show the miracle takeover at the big screen. What a fantastic referee dance. Time out. Slashing. Spear. High sticky. Go. Looking good, guys. Keep on moving. Up ahead now.
Steps in for the face-off against Sagadeyev for Kazakhstan. One back to Metalnikov. Starchenko back across. Bagadeyev with a shot. And the save is made by Bus.
Clean win. See a lot of teams running those plays off one offensive zone face-offs now where they activate. They're rolling guys around. They try to pull someone out to the high slot to the blue line and make the top wingers have a decision. Time it was Starchenko pulling out right between the defensemen.
Now Starchenko back with it, making a strip to the puck. As Timothy Bozon moved it out, takes the return pass off his skate.
A rocket pass coming his way.
And Bozon pokes it around. Metalnikov brings it back out. Metalnikov had a shot pinball around in front. They battle away for it, but Texier's got it back the other way for France. Alexander Texier, the speedster, tries Metalnikov and shoots. And Metalnikov blocked that and put it up and out of play.
Very good gap there by Metalnikov. As Texier had a head of steam, but Metalnikov was able to hold the gap, didn't let him go in wide, but still was close enough to deflect the attempted shot by Texier.
By the way, up in Tampere, 1-0 Austria on the United States.
Well, they had 1-0 Italy over Canada earlier today, so these things happen.
And earlier there today, 3-0 Norway was leading Great Britain. Great Britain came back to tie that game in the third period with 3 goals. They went to a shootout before Norway won it. So that could scramble things on that side of the draw. Norway, you would argue, leaves a point in the table.
Yeah.
And others will likely get. So should Norway finish a point shy of relegation, that would be the difference for you.
We have Austria in that group, so that would be, that's the group kind of battling to stay up. Great Britain, Austria. Usually Norway finds a way to do just enough.
They are survivors.
Yeah.
Ritz goes after it. Chesnikov steps into him. Now Blacker back with it. That was kicked away by Kevin Bozon. Ritz looks down for Leclerc. That was knocked away. Kazakhstan in Central Asia, bordered on the east by China, to the north by Russia. It is an energy-rich country. Oil exports are huge part of their economy. Lead pass, Mr. Pekioff. Off the end glass, it goes to Claro. Valentin Claro. Spins it back down to Bertrand. And that pass intercepted, brought up by Panyakov. Panyakov lobs that wide of the goal. Ovechkin had it knocked down and stolen away. Here's Mihalis with it. Pokes it back ahead to Vault. What a turnover by France. Now Mihalis taken down. And the puck took over the head of Metalnikov. Stolen over Trump. Oh, what a save! Shutov came across and took that away. That was Perret rather with it. Now Perret back in the corner. Well, Shutov having a much sharper second game than his first.
Sticks in the corner right now, so he needs some help getting it back because it's a long ways in there.
Metalnikov will take some time here.
It's so far over there, you don't even want to risk getting it even after a clear because
you're a long way out.
Yeah. That's a big save by Shutov.
Brought in by Savitsky. Savitsky jumping in, shoots, and Bierce took a look behind him, but he's got it. But at the other end, Shutov makes a great stop.
Good work by Bertrand, keeping his feet moving, lifting the stick, and he knows he's going to pass it. Gets it quickly over to Perret. And Shutov with a really good read. Oh, he even elevated it mid-net. Shutov gets to this blocker cord. Oh my goodness.
That's a great stop. Well, last year Kazakhstan had very good goaltending. They were good defensively. So what we saw yesterday, you kind of made you shake your head.
Yeah.
I know a penalty coming to France as Denier was spilled at center ice. And so with 1:45 to go in the period, Kazakhstan up 1 will get a power play.
Actually going for holding the stick. And microphone's not working, but that's what he's going to go for here. Team grab on it right there. That's right out of his hand. That's could not be any clearer. That's the kind of penalty that's frustrating for a teammate or a coach to see because it's a total lack of discipline and attention. You pulled his stick out of his hand. Like, how did you think you were going to get away with that?
Bump back down to the Kazakh zone. Shutov out the play. Shutov plays for Paris Sultan in the KHL. With 1 game there and also plays in the second league, the Kazakh league, which is kind of like the farm team for Paris. So that play called offside at the French line.
Not much going so far in this power play for Kazakhstan as Shevchenko, who played for Omsk this year.
Yeah. Siberia. Bob Hartley, the former NHL coach, is the head man there.
Bob Hartley's had a run of successful stops around Europe.
Won the championship there last year.
He's been coaching Latvia national team.
Yeah. Chopped up by Mihalis. And Ovechkin sends it right back down the ice. Final minute now, the opening period. Denier goes back. And here is Vault. Curtis Vault jumps across the line. And that's drifted off the boards and back down the ice by Thierry. Blacker with it. Jesse Blacker. Winding across the line. He was poke checked. That's knocked out. Beclinon. Saro backhands it right back down to the Kazakh zone as time winds down here in the period. Blacker for Sagadeyev. And Sagadeyev drops that back. It was shot by Svedberg, went off his skate. And there will be 16 seconds of power play time to carry over into the second period, but Kazakhstan has the opening goal. Valery Orehov has it. And Kazakhstan leads 1-0 after the opening 20 minutes.
Certainly much better than yesterday's first period, where the game was effectively over. Kazakhstan have a lead, putting the Denmark game behind them, and when they want 2 points out of this one, they're in good shape.
This is the 2022 World Hockey Championship. Our first intermission is coming up.
The score between Team Austria and Team USA after the first period 1-0. Tampereella tilanneottelussa Itävalta USA on ensimmäisen erän jälkeen 1-0.
That's why. Yeah.
Muistakaa seurata tapahtumia jäällä ja varoa katsomaan mahdollisesti lentäville kiekkoille. Kiitos. After video review, call on the ice stands. We have to go.
Hello, good game. Hello, good game. Hi guys. Okay, are you ready guys? Okay, stick on the ice please. Enjoy. Easy, easy. Stop. Good, good, good. Stop, stop, stop. Easy, easy, easy. Okay. Goalie, are you okay? Perfect. Good, good, good. Easy, easy, easy. Easy. Woo, woo, woo. Let's go, let's go. After video review, call on the ice stands. We have a good goal. Stop, stop, stop. Okay, calm down, guys. Now it's commercial. Good. Go on the bench. Stop, stop, stop.
Muistakaa seurata tapahtumia jäällä ja varoa katsomaan mahdollisesti lentäville kiekkoille. Kiitos. Tapahtumia jäällä ja varoa katsomaan mahdollisesti lentäville kiekkoille. Kiitos. After video review, call the stats.
back here in Helsinki. And this allowed the only goal of the game so far on 8 shots. And at the other end of the ice, 24-year-old Andrei Shutov had a much better day today, has had one so far, as opposed to yesterday.
That was his bounce-back performance. He gave up 5 on 18 shots.
And made a 5-bell save here on Jordan Perret in the first period to keep it a 1-0 game. Kazakhstan starts with a 16-second power play. And away we go. There is a school of thought that was proposed once at the NHL. Remember how they changed the rules so that if you got a power play, you got the first face-off in the offensive zone?
Yep.
If your power play starts in the next period,
you can start in the offensive zone?
Yeah.
It makes sense. It would look funny. I think that's probably why they didn't do it, because we associate the start of the period with center ice.
Yeah.
But the principle behind moving it the first time remains.
Orahav, the only goal scorer so far, across for Jesse Blacker, who fires it in. And Goose plays that back around. Texier up to Baudon. Back for Alex Texier. Spins back and shoots, and Shutov made a good save there on that long shot. Kind of did the splits to kick that away.
Must have hit something on the way in. It was more awkward than it should have looked.
Shakashvili back forward for France. Florian Shakashvili playing in his 7th World Championship, up for Baudon. And Baudon taken down from behind by Colson.
Quite a bit off the ice on that hold. No question it's a hold, but he went down in a heap. Some might say embellished that infraction.
I think you're saying it without saying it.
He might have caught a toe pick or something, though. Or maybe not. I mean, someone's going to the box after that right there. You see the previous one, Texier slings patiently, puts the wrister on in.
It did deflect, but look at it.
It's kind of rolled up and over Shutov's pass. So France goes to the power play. They got 1 in their first game. And so they can't find a way to even things up.
Shakashvili for Bertrand. Up to Simpozan, and it bounces back to Shakashvili. Florian Shakashvili drops it back for Texier. Alex Texier, lead pass for Charles Bertrand. And Bertrand poke checked, and it's sent down the ice by Orehov.
Orehov standing still at the blue line. You got to take that puck down the boards hard. Don't try to drag it through his feet, risk a turnover. Just chip it down in the corner. You're going to get there first every time if you're Bertrand.
Claro comes jumping in on Blacker. Guillaume Leclerc tries to bank that back. Pouzon, correct. Across to Overture, shoots, and the stop is made by Shutov, and he hangs on.
It was a better job by Claro, exactly what I was talking about. Not a fancy entry, but he got it down to the hash marks before he stopped up and was able to gain possession, ending with OV2, an uncontested shot. Claro has been good. He's been noticeable in their 2 games so far.
Face-off won by Kazakhstan. Now back at the point is Overture. Overture plays it back for Rek. Overture for Fleury, who teed that up, and Shutov got a blocker on that.
It looked like there might have been a little corner available, but Shutov got over there quickly.
Overture to Fleury. Claro back to Overture. In for Fleury. Just poke check there by Shestakov. And Rek plays it back in. 15 seconds to go in the French power play. Here's Fleury. In fire, Shutov save, and the rebound skipped away from Rek.
OV2 keeps banging his stick on the ice like, you're wide open. We know this.
Shutov made the save.
Like, you know what I mean? You're 20 feet away in a straight line. The guy knows you're there. Eventually, point shot. Claro down in front of that, banging away. Shutov sharp on the penalty kill again. Is a little chatter between big Svedberg and the much smaller Claro as they battle in front.
Stop! Stop! Hey! Don't use it! Don't use it! Good job! Calm down! Calm down! Calm down!
He's got him in a headlock. Svedberg is a giant, 6'8".
Yep.
Without skates.
Final second of this power play. Again, Kazakhstan wins the face-off. Out comes Vol. 2 shots on goal for France on a power play. Now right out of the box comes Kazakhstan. Vol plays that back, and that shot fired wide by IIHF. They had that knocked away, and it's moved back down to the French zone. That'll be icing against Kazakhstan with 3.5 gone here in the second period.
Timely dive by Colson to get that puck back to IIHF, who is the goal scorer.
Yeah.
Not an expected one. Didn't have him in the pool tonight.
Only had one in the regular season, so you're
getting some good odds if you take them.
Yeah.
Or deep into the pool.
Blacker trying to shovel it ahead. It's picked up by Perret for Bertrand. Back for Perret. Just missed on that return pass. Long shot. Shutov save, and the rebound sitting there, and that's knocked away by Blacker. Now the puck went up into the meshing, but the French getting some more chances here, 5-on-5.
Jesse Blacker is a right shot defenseman, taking the puck off his offside. It's a tough spot to be in. He gets pressure, turns it over, and then pass just a little bit high, a little bit by the feet of Perret, and he kind of heels it with the shaft of the stick. We're trying to like that one again, lay it out in front of him where he could step into it like he had the earlier chance.
It was Perret who scored the tying goal against the Slovaks in their first meeting, in their opening game.
And it was Perret who was robbed by Shutov in the first period.
Yeah. And now a steal, and a shot by Starchenko is turned away. It was blocked, in fact, and Perret gets it back and banks it back down to the Kazakh zone. Metalnikov lost the puck to Texier. Here's Alex Texier with it. He had a breakaway in that game against Slovakia.
He didn't go with the fire poker. I thought he might. Famous shootout move.
Shakaskili fires. That bounced off the defenseman Bekatayev. 4.5 gone in the second period. Kazakhstan opened with a 9-1 loss to Denmark yesterday. It was nasty, down 3-0 in the first 5 minutes.
Denmark put on him, scored 4 power play goals as well, made it look easy, shredded them.
Metalnikov up for Sagadev, who sweeps that down to the French zone, but the shooting was blocked. And now Bo is back to pick it up. Romain Bo across the Crinon. Tim Bozon got muscled there by Gurkov, and now back comes Kazakhstan. That's broken up by Bo and played back down to the Kazakh zone.
Damien Fleury can really skate. Powerful stride.
Worked back in by Petuhov. Shot pass went wide. Crinon. Off ahead for Trey. That's knocked away by Deniar. Over to you. Up for Crinon. Sasha Trey chips it in. Plays it back around for Fleury. 2 long-time members of this French national team. Now Fleury drops it back to Overtu. His hard shot. Look how Fleury was down in front.
Did that get him?
Well, I think he was already knocked down, and then the puck hit him.
Feeling on it. Good on the Kazakhstan players, recognized too, wanting that whistle to make sure he's okay.
1-0 Kazakhstan leads here in the second.
Yeah.
stop. Hey. Good. Okay.
Thank you, everybody.
Kazakhstan had the only goal of the game so far, scored in the opening period by IIHF. And right now the shots favor France 12-10. But the loser of this game is going to likely find themselves struggling harder to stay in the tournament for next year. And a host country, or host countries rather, will be determined at the end of this tournament when the IIHF Congress meets. So there are 2 bids to host next year, replacing St. Petersburg, Russia. One is a bid from Tampere, which is hosted this year, and Riga, Latvia, which hosted last year.
Shared between Tampere and Riga.
And then the other one is Budapest, Hungary, sharing with Ljubljana, Slovenia. Now, both those bids technically break the IIHF guidelines. You're not supposed to host if you've just hosted the last 5 years. And you're not supposed
so that
to
would
host.
be Tampere and Latvia both have hosted the last 5 years.
You're not supposed to host if you've not been in the top division for 3 consecutive years, which
neither Hungary or Slovenia has been.
They just got promoted. But it's unusual circumstances. Certainly Tampere took a financial loss this year because Russia being kicked out denies them a lot of spectators from next door. As Barakeyev moves in. And Riga, of course, held the tournament last year with pretty much no fans. As Volk winds and fires and just knocks that away. Hungary and Slovenia offer an interesting and rare opportunity, one of the few times they've both been in the top division together, to host the tournament in non-traditional countries. Volk knocked that away.
Yeah, I mean, this is good to have options.
Sure.
Now, what is the travel like between Slovenia and Hungary?
About a 4-hour drive, apparently.
Okay.
Not so bad. In comes Rek with it. Rek to the high slot for Texier. Shakashvili knocks it down for France.
As long as you're driving, I don't mind. I can sleep in the back seat.
Great. Starchenko comes wheeling in now for Kazakhstan. Shoots. Bish makes the stop. He's got it squeezed between his right arm and his chest and hangs onto that puck.
Quiet period so far for Buse. Hasn't had very much to do. That's the 3rd shot, but nothing really too tough from Kazakhstan. And Starchenko, the captain, longtime captain of Kazakhstan, tries him short side. '14th World Championship for Starchenko. Not all of which have been in the Division 1.
This is the 7th in the top division.
Yeah.
But there's been some tough slogging. They were down in Division 2 for a while. This is Division 1, 1A, 1B, and 2.
Ooh. They were down in 2?
Briefly, yeah.
Well, imagine the kind of countries that might be in that.
You see Division 3. Had that knocked away. And part of the thing, the IIHF runs 40+ tournaments a year. It was more than 45 this year because you had Olympic qualifying. So it's, that puck goes up over the glass and out of play. So it's a busy schedule. There's basically an IIHF tournament a week during the hockey season.
And we're always focused on the big ones, the World Championships, the Women's World Championship, World Juniors, Olympics. But to think of all the lower levels that go on, as well as under 18s and everything else.
Yeah, and those tournaments all have to be staffed, officiated. There's all.
Yeah.
pretty involved process. A long shot, taken from the point by Thierry, was kicked away by Shutov. But the concept of relegation and promotion is just so fantastic in these tournaments. I mean, the elation of teams that get promoted, the dejection of the teams that get relegated.
You're watching a team that's 0-6 going the last game, playing for their lives.
Right.
And ecstatic when they win. To know they're 1-7, 1-6, and not going down to the lower level. And that's what Philippe Rolzon is all about.
He was the coach in 2019.
He knows,
he
right?
was, and it was, I mean, just the way it happened. Up 3-0. I mean,
you think against Great Britain, you're like, oh, we got this under control. Worst lead in hockey. I don't know.
I've never liked that expression. Oh, so you'd rather be down 3-0? Leclerc, long shot, shoots on the save up high.
It's like being down 1-0 would be worse than being down. Be better than being down 3-0, no? I think so.
Yeah. I would much rather.
Yeah.
There's a lot of expressions that
don't make a lot of sense.
Well, they don't stand up to a lot of scrutiny. Shoots off.
It's a good thing. I talk a lot of stuff that won't stand up to much scrutiny. Both teams kind of settling into their defense here, Gord. Not a lot.
Yeah.
Quad man rushes. Lots of bodies back to the blue line. Dump ins and point shots. Nothing too dangerous. Consistently. Both sides.
Face off one again by Kazakhstan. A rink wide pass for Bertrand. Charles Bertrand swings it back down to Perret, who's been dangerous again today.
This line has 3 smaller guys, but they buzz around.
Perret plays for Montfield in the Czech League. Justikov knocked out his Perot with it. Bump back down to the Kazakh zone, and Samet and I are back to play it. Now brought in by Shevchenko, shoots, and that butted wide, went off a stick. Perot. Thanks for the hit for Perot. Or for Perret, rather, but that was broken up.
Good read by
Denier.
Denier there, recognizing I better get to the boards and seal this off because I'm not going to be able to turn and pivot to chase down Perret if it gets past me.
By the way, still 1-0 Austria against the United States.
Wow.
They're midway through the second period.
The States looked pretty good in their first game. Winning handily. There's going to be some offense for France. It's likely to come from this line, but can't hit one, hit both. Colson gives a little shot to Thierry, who helps Claro into the bench.
Who might not have been expecting that as it was going on.
You rarely do when you got 1 foot over the boards. Well, that one got up into Volk's face on the deflection.
Fleury, lead pass, trying to find Trey. That was broken up by Oreja. Now Mihalis brings it back the other way. 3-on-2 if they hurry. Mihalis shoots, and Goose makes the stop on that. Zagadeev on the goal. Mihalis. And that pass knocked away. Blacker sends it right back down to him with the pass out of his reach. Thierry. Rolled over Oreja. The puck moved by Blacker and back out.
You can see Fleury back on the ice after getting hit in the head with the puck there earlier in the period.
Cam shoots, and Goose makes the save on that. 1-0 Kazakhstan leads here in the second period on day 3 of the World Hockey Championship.
2, 3. Once more. Kazakhstan. That sounds good. Keep up the good work. Jatkakaa samaan tahtiin sitä kannustamista.
.8:17 to go here in the second period. Kazakhstan has the only goal so far, a 1-0 lead on France. Earlier today, Canada beat Italy 6-1 here, and the result that got everyone's attention, Norway beat Great Britain 4-3 in a shootout after blowing a 3-0 lead in the third period to go to extra time, but Norway left a point in the table, getting 2 wins for the shootout win instead of 3 for regulation win. Here comes Texier, that's knocked away by Metalnikov. Shakashvili up for Baudon. In comes Baudon, drops it back to Rex, shoots it back upper leg. Back at the point, Gallet with a shot that was partly blocked and now brought in by Texier. Fire, scores! Alexander Texier from long distance, and the game is tied at 1.
France's go-to offensive player evens the game. He already gave Shutov some problems with a long-range wrister earlier in the period, and this time he picks up the carom off the shot block and rolls around the top. Shutov fighting through traffic, never quite gets set. He's upset he misses it. Baudon doing a job in front. Oh, just glances as well off the shin of Sagateyev. Oh, man. Probably was headed wide, catches a piece and tucks inside the post to tie the game.
So Texier's got his first of the tournament, and Austria has scored again. 2-0 lead on the United States.
I'm Team Chaos always. I think it's fun when there's upsets and it all gets crazy.
You like the upsets. I like the big upsets. Like you.
Yeah.
You're a big fan of when a little team beats a big team.
Yeah. I like getting out the abacus and figuring out the points and who can do what.
Because you were on a Canadian team that was a big fish that got eaten by a little fish, weren't you?
Yes, Gord. I was on a team, Canada, back in 2000, who lost to Norway for the first and only time in Canadian-Norwegian hockey history.
You don't say.
Yeah, yeah. It's tough to forget.
I won't let you.
Some people let me remind me of it daily. But you keep saying Freddie Brathwaite had a tough night in net, and just, you know.
no, you said that.
It's a team game. We're all responsible together.
Bertrand plays it around for Claro. And now Bertrand back with it. Kazakhstan, by the way, was in line to bid for the 2026 World Championship hosting rights, but Switzerland is going to step up and do that after losing the tournament in 2020 to COVID, so it looks like the Swiss will get it. All for that. Here's Claro.
Yeah.
Long shot. Bertrand got a stick on that. Shutov made the save.
This line again for France. They've been the best line in this game on either side.
Bertrand. Crisscrossing with Claro. Up to back to Clinon. That pass knocked down in front, moved ahead by Akolzin. Pavel Akolzin plays for Magnitogorsk in the KHL. And now Volk plays it back in. 5.5 to go here in the second period.
That is wedged. Shevchenko. Here he's got the, look at the deep squat press into the boards. Not going anywhere.
And now moved about 10 feet.
Oh, See, dangerous. You start stepping on it, people start stepping on you, or they're going to trip you. And you should not get called for tripping if you're going to step on the puck. I can be able to do whatever I want to your foot then.
Well, not whatever you want.
I can slash at it. You're stepping on it.
Timothy Bozon brings it back to the way with Trey. In comes Bozon for Trey. Shoots, and Chuta makes a great save on some nifty puck moving by the French. 1-1 the score here in Helsinki.
And let's see what Miracle is doing right now, supporting as much as possible. Show the Miracle.
Back here at the Ice Hall in Helsinki, the home of IFK Helsinki. It's day 3 of the World Championship. 3 games here, 3 games in Tampere. Later on today, we'll have Denmark taking on Switzerland. Two teams that won their openers. Denmark beat Kazakhstan. And Switzerland beat Italy.
Big opportunity for Denmark to back up a big win with a good performance and set themselves up really quite well.
Switzerland's got a pretty good team here.
They do. They do. As nifty stick handling there by Bozon and get it over to Sastre. Has a stick hit by Talnikov just as he's releasing it to slow down the shot. Now, Switzerland looks like a pretty good team. They get goaltending. Right now it's Redo Berra, it's Giannoni.
Savitsky moves in, a backhand shot, missed the save. And Kirill Savitsky, who scored the only goal in that loss to Denmark, had a good chance there, and now Bus will hang on to that.
France has done a lot of good work in the second period here to even things up. You don't want to give up one late. Savitsky slashes through the gap. And another broken play up. He's not trying to handle that one into his chest, but it's hard to defend when the puck bounces up into bodies. You're just not sure which way it's going to go. And Savitsky stays with it well, as does Bus.
Blacker drops it back. Starchenko to Blacker, in shoots. And Jesse Blacker, a good chance there.
That same face-off play, it's worked a couple times.
Starchenko slaps at that. That was blocked by Rack. And now brought in by Orehov. Banks it back to Blacker. And Jesse Blacker, former Windsor Spitfire, a Memorial Cup champion for them back in 2009.
Some stacked teams there with Taylor Hall, Ryan Ellis, among others, and Jesse Blacker.
On to play. One NHL game for Anaheim. So as you say, he's in the club. Behind the goal is Fleury trying to dig it free. Damian Fleury centers it. Bounced off a skate and went off Patuhov and just wide. 3 to go now in the second period. Sasha Trey holds the line. And now Blacker's clearing attempt. Bounces right to Gurkov. Dmitry Gurkov works in, fanning that shot. Thierry takes it back across for Pinot. Timothy Bozon drops it back. And a French crunch there on Asetov. Pinot. Out to center ice he goes to Clairot. French are changing. He's down there by himself. Perret now jumps in. That pass just missed him. Here's Bertrand. Crisscrossing with Perret. Jordan Perret to Clairot. Shoots. It goes off a leg. Over to looking for a lane, shoots and just missed short side. Gallet fires it back in for Perret. Perret. Back to Gallet, a long wrist shot that deflected wide. And Gallet back for it. Gallet steps around Volk, and look out, that pass goes rocking to the French bench. It's called, 1:45 to go.
More about Shevchenko about to take a run at Gallet there. It's a dangerous spot when you're kind of reaching to get to the red line. Here's that face-off play again. Starchenko pops middle, and then Blacker activates. And as a winger, you turn your head naturally to the middle to see what's going on over there. And Starchenko gives it right back to Blacker, who vacated the left winger side. And good look for the Toronto native.
Now walking in, Mihalis centers it, a great chance there. And turned away in tight was Kirill Panyukov. And back comes France the other way. It's a good stop down there by Bius. That shot floats wide. Texier back with it. Overture. Back for Texier. Had his pocket picked by Volk. And Curtis Volk kicks at that puck, but Texier stays with it. Finally moved out by Volk. Volk get across the line, chips it down. And Volk spilled there. Only 2 penalties called in the game so far. Volk brings that ring wide, knocked down though by Texier. And away comes France. 3, Texier with Rek and Overture. Texier works in, he got poke check there on the defensive play by Denier.
I'm not sure if he ever checked to see if he had any support. He was just thinking, I'm going to take this guy's one-on-one, not thinking they might have support in from behind.
Here's Sasha Trey with it. Toss that back to Timbo zone, Gaye. And that puck came across the line, the ball offside. Meantime, in front, Fleury being abused by Jesse Blacker.
This Fleury who just took a puck in that same spot in the forehead. Blacker just obviously was not happy at all.
Hey!
Fleury.
Stop!
But like Fleury went in and pushed him the same way defenseman pushes it forward every time he goes to the front of the net.
Number 9, go there!
Little shove in the hips, little cross check, whatever you want to call it.
So they got Blacker for roughing here.
Yeah. Here's the earlier chance. This is a tremendous save. Good play, one-timer by Panyukov, and Bius makes his best of the period. All set up by a nifty pivot pass reception by Mihalis. So France, after Damien Fleury gets short into that exchange, goes to the power play.
Kazakhstan hasn't sat back here. They've outshot the French 11-6 in the second period. And now France on the power play. Shakashvili. Hold the line, feeds it down to Texier, back to Shakashvili. Shoot, scores! That deflected in front, might have been Trey, got a piece of it. And the French have taken a 2-1 lead.
Tight margins. The importance of discipline. I know Jesse Blacker's not happy. Doesn't like the little shot, but you can't take an undisciplined penalty. Simple face-off play, not much to it, but I think slides in and catches a piece of 84. Savitsky up top. And Shutov's like, can I just please get a clean shot? You get a good look at it here. Catches the shin pad. Hip.
Yeah, didn't touch Trey.
Nope. Straight in off Savitsky's backside. And a puck that would not usually beat Shutov. Same like the first one by Texier, was also going wide, caught a shin pad and went in. A broken place, but you play in your own end enough, and you give yourself the opportunity to bad things to happen when you're in your own end.
So the French do what they didn't do against Slovakia. They get a power play goal. They had their chance in that game, didn't score. Now they take advantage here and overcome an early deficit, have a 2-1 lead now. Late in this period, Bertrand with a chance. That flutters wide. Time winding down here in the third period, or second period rather, the French will take it to the dressing room with a 2-1 lead. Goals by Texier and Shakashvili give them the lead heading for the third period.
It's a big game for France. Get this one, they'll feel really good about staying up. And point shots, traffic has been the recipe, has them in the lead after 2.
This is the 2022 World Hockey Championship from Finland. Our second intermission is coming up.
Kazakhstan 11, Team France 7. Laukauksen mallia kohti toisessa erässä Kazakstan 11, Ranska 7. In Tampere, the score between Team Austria and Team USA after the second period is 2-1. Tampereella tilanneottelussa Itävalta USA toisen erän jälkeen 2-1.
Huudetaan alkaa Kazakhstan. 1, 2, 3. Meillä on todella järjestelmä ottelu käsissä miehiin ja muistakaa kanssa omaa suosikkiasi mahdollisimman kovaäänisesti.
Keep going, guys. It's good. Let's go. Oh.
Stop! Now stop. Okay. Good job. Stop! Hey! Don't use it! Good job. Calm down, okay?
Stop. Hey. Good. Okay, good.
Go, here, Spook. In your blocker.
Goal crease.
Woo! Okay, good job. Outside. Good job. Stay. Good job. Let's go. Let the play.
Hey! Stop! Hey, number 9, go there. Let's go. No. Hey, stop. Number 9. Number 9 is too much.
Fletcher, 2-minute penalty for roughing at 39-6. Team Kazakhstan 9. Jesse Fletcher, 2-minute penalty for roughing at 39-6. 9. Jesse Fletcher, 2-minute penalty for roughing at 39-6.
всех сил. Давай, энергия каждого. Команда,
Так, полегче, вот.
France now with a 2-1 lead after 40 minutes of play. Andre Biz has stopped 18 of the 19 shots he's faced. Gave up the first goal of the game in the first period of Kazakhstan. And Andre Shutov's been good. Made some spectacular saves, got beaten on a couple of deflections.
He's been unlucky, you're right. The first one on Buse was one off a skate that went in, and the two that got past Shutov were off his own players right in front of
Okay, guys, let's go.
the goaltender. So It's now on Kazakhstan to try to find a push and an equalizer.
Team starts the third period at even strength. And in Tampere, it's a 2-1 lead for Austria on the United States in the third period.
That's a surprise.
They had a close call there earlier today when Norway and Great Britain went to a shootout after Norway coughed up a 3-0 lead.
We also saw Italy lead Canada for a little while.
Italy had the first goal on Canada. That was 1-1 deep into the second period. Back at the point. Oreja with a shot that deflected as well. Jesse Blacker shoots. Bus does the Dwayne Rollison barrel roll there to make the stop. And now the play is called at the French line. And Bus is giving it to the officials here.
He was all out of sorts. And good by him though, because he fell down after the initial shot. This one just skips wide on a bouncer. And he gets caught up with Gallet, and he recognized this is dangerous coming from a tight angle. I better just get back here. And he makes a glove save on a shot that was probably going to be going in from a tight angle from Blacker.
Oreja fires it in. Now brought in by Sacha Trèves. Ridden off the puck by Blacker, who was in the penalty box when France scored the go-ahead goal. And Mihalis plays it back to center ice. Bouncing puck, Starchenko had that knocked away at the last second by Gallet. Starchenko shoots. Save made by Bus. Centering pass, and Volk just missed on that. Now remember last year's World Championship, and this Kazakh team is basically intact. They were the comeback kings.
They found themselves in this position quite often, trailing.
Forced overtime, won a couple games in OT doing that.
Find a way to get to, just scrape by, get points somehow.
And that shot taken by Bekateev goes up and out.
And so Kazakhstan know they're going to push, they're going to get going forward. And the challenge for France, which we're only 2 minutes in here, but already seen a tendency to just shoot the puck away, chip it out, and never really make a pass and make a play. 20 minutes is a long time to just give it away every time you get it.
Chip back down to the Kazakh zone. Well, when this tournament was played regularly on true international ice, 200 feet by 100, defending was easy.
Rack it in.
Stay inside the dots.
Yep.
It was just an extra 15 feet you couldn't score from.
Teams almost get like lulled into playing on the perimeter because they have possession, they have a little space, but they're not really threatening anything, so they just spend the time out in no man's land.
Bekateev plays it back down. Bus.
Pass.
Quickly hit to Bertrand. The French have numbers as Bertrand works in. A mismatch there in size against Svedberg. They knock him off the puck. Now Perret back on it. This line, as you mentioned, Mike, has been dangerous all afternoon. Perrault. Down to Bertrand. Down to Bertrand, who plays here in Finland, up in Tampere. Or Tampere. There's two teams there, Ilves and Tampere. Or Tampere, rather. And now that pass across from Daniev, knocked away. And Claro back with it. Tampere will be the host city of the semifinals and the gold medal and bronze medal games on the final weekend of this World Championship.
France could be hoping for a miracle seeding and maybe get up there for a quarterfinal. Who knows?
Gaillet. Well, they'd like to think they can get 3 points against Italy.
Yeah, they can get this game, which is a long way away from happening.
Probably need 10 points to make the quarters.
That's asking a lot.
Oreja jumps in and plays it ahead, and the pass just missed to Colson. He collides hard there with Gallet. And that cross ice pass chipped ahead, but intercepted by Jessica. Now move back down to the Kazakh zone. It bounces off the end boards. Timothy Bozon works that free. Bozon. Has to swing that back. Now Bozon lost the puck. But Talnikov banks it high in the air and back down the ice. An icing called against Kazakhstan.
France trying to find a way to hold on to a 2-1 lead. Alexandre Texier, not surprisingly, involved in the offense for France, as he got them on the board with a long-range wrister that was going wide but caught a piece of a shin pad, and then picks up an assist on this power play goal that was also deflected in by a Kazakhstan defender. A lot of pressure on him to produce offensively. The team looks to him to be the go-to guy.
Now Trey back on it. Sasha Trey. In for Timothy Bozon. Back at the point, Shakashvili. Ryorka shoots. That was almost on the stick of Trey. 5 gone here in the third period. France will play Germany tomorrow. And Kazakhstan got Switzerland on Tuesday.
And now we're a few days into the tournament. It's picking up its natural rhythm where you're playing basically every other day. Occasionally you play back-to-back. And turns into just kind of practice on your off day, playing the game day, and not a whole lot else between. Although Kazakhstan apparently had a pretty busy day yesterday with some team meeting, players-only meeting, extensive video work, which would have been just a blast to sit through.
We just erase that video, press Control-Alt-Delete to get rid of that video.
Unplug the machine.
That's off, plays it back down to the French zone. Brought up by Ritz. Nicolas Ritz has that pass picked off. Denayer. Quick pass ahead to Gurkov. And now Leclerc plays it back out. A race for it now as Bozon streaks in. Denayer knocked that away. That's off, plays it back for Denayer. That pass misfired, trying to find Petuhov, and the faceoff comes back down to the Kazakh zone.
And those long stretch passes they look good, but they're hard to handle and make anything happen with them. It's going to be a tip in and forecheck, but that's about it. Denayer thinks he's got maybe a guy slashed across the far blue line, but he's tightly covered, and he's going to be closed on quickly because the pass takes so long to get there. So, balance, unless he has some support to get in the forecheck, not always the wise play just to sling it all the way up there.
Sagadeyev across to Svedberg. And Svedberg pumps that down in the French zone. Here's Clairot on it. Valentin Clairot. Winds it back across for Bertrand. Spins that back down to the Kazakh zone as Blacker's back for it. He and Clairot collide. And now Bertrand steals that from Blacker. Back in the corner, jumping up is Shakashvili. And the defenseman rings it back around. Lorca. Rehov picked off that pass, but now stolen back by Baudon. Rek with a long shot that hit Sagadeyev up high. Now a lead pass for Starchenko. That missed firing for him, and now Blacker picks off a pass at center ice. And Texier steals it back for France. 7 gone in the third period. Later on tonight, we'll have Denmark and Switzerland. And that long shoot-in drifts over the glass and out. France with a lead 2-1 here in the third period at the 2022 World Hockey Championship.
Philippe Bozon, some intense coaching during that last break.
Yeah,
he was getting on his guys, and you could tell by where he was drawing on the board. Blue lines, out and in. Those risky plays at the blue line, he wants it straight lining forward.
Sharp angle taunt taken by Shestakov, his block. We were talking to Bozon the other day, and he played in the NHL for St. Louis. He talks about the fact that the French League, the Magnus League, is so defensive. And that's the way they play. He wants his players to get out of that shell and says you can't play like that here.
It's hard to do, though. You play all year long one way,
right?
And you hone your skills playing that way, and then you come here and you probably will lose if you play that way, worse than if you maybe try to get up the ice and make passes. That's the plays he wants. Little chips for support, move the puck up the ice. When in doubt, be strong with it around the blue lines.
But in the French League, where there wouldn't be a lot of depth, you probably play that way because you probably only got one line that can score.
You're just basically trying to shorten up the game.
Right. Calais plays it back around. Fleury on the forecheck. And Bekateev knocks it back to center. In comes Sashatev, drops it off for Fleury. Tees it up and shoots. That's knocked away by Shutov. Tail back with it. Long shot was blocked and brought out by Bekateev. Ahead for Volk. Flying dangerous for the Kazakhs. As that bounced away from Mihalis. And Calais has it back. French are changing. A rink-wide pass now for Timothy Bozon. Still has it, walks in, Bozon holds and shoots. That deflected wide as Volk blocked that. Orehov spins that back for Asetov and goes off on a change. Taps that pass ahead. Tuhov knocks it in, but Shakashvili plays it off the glass, not quite out. Jesse Black for a long shot, skips wide. Loose behind the goal. Asetov trying to reach it as we approach the midway point of the third period. Leclerc straightened up there by Orehov, who's had a pretty good afternoon for Kazakhstan. Has their only goal. And here's Blacker with it. Toronto's second-round pick back in 2009.
Second-round pick's pretty high. Shows how good he was in his junior career.
Saditsky pivots across and drops that back. And that shot deflected wide. Taken by the defenseman, Deniar.
France doesn't mind putting both defensemen in the corner.
Svedberg plays it back across. Savitsky missed on the one-timer.
Savitsky's limping. I think he got a bit of a Charlie horse in that last assist in the corner, but he's still taking cracks at it.
And now Perret gets there first to negate the icing. Spins back in the corner. Object in your mirror is larger than it appears. Perret drops it back, and a quick chance for Texier rolled that wide. And that was Svedberg, the big 6'8", 240-pounder closing on him. And the thing about a guy that size is even if he wants to stop, sometimes he can't.
Yeah, and he doesn't need to get all of you for you to feel it.
Texier up for Baudon. Works it back across. A little backhand shot by Rick. And Shutov got just a piece of that.
Threw it out the back door again, underneath the arm, and just slid wide.
Shestakov works it and shoots. He fired that wide. And this time, Bekateev can't hold the line. Metalnikov flips that back in. Trey bounces back out. Fleury can fly, gets it on Metalnikov. He's got Texier with him. That pass goes wide of the goal. Knocked down at center ice. Lorca up for Fleury. Timothy Bozon tries to wrap around try, rolled off his stick. Now Bozon back with it. Still holding. Timothy Bozon in, shoot. Should makes the save. Rebound back at the line, and Saakashvili couldn't quite hold it. That shoot hit the referee. And now Metalnikov has it back. 7:45 to go in the third.
Tough game for the refs. We saw a linesman get clipped heavy earlier today in the Canada game.
Blacker moves it back down to the French zone. And here's Leclerc with it.
Good job moving your feet.
Plays in the Ice Hockey League in Ljubljana, Slovenia. French players play in 7 different countries. The bulk of them, though, are from their domestic league. Bertrand moves up. That's knocked away from him. And you know, you look at a game like this and say, well, why would a scout come to a game like this? Well, a decade ago, Philadelphia Flyers scouts came to the games and found Pierre-Louis Bellemare. And Bellemar's been a real good player in the NHL for a decade.
And Bellemare wasn't super young when he started. He was, you know, into his 20s when he came over, well into his 20s.
All right, plays it down to Clairot. Bertrand back on it. The French staying aggressive here in the third period. Long shot by Bertrand, deflects wide. Kazakhstan just 3 shots so far here in the third period.
Perfect third period so far for France. 14 minutes in, you've given up 3 shots. You have 5 yourself.
Baudon holds and plays it back in as the French are changing. And Svedberg back for it. Banks it back around to Orehov. And Saakashvili ranges back with 6 to go in the third period. Baudon drops it up for Texier. In, fire, shoot off, shave, and the rebound cleared away by Orehov. Here's Texier back with it. Texier, long wrist shot, shoots off, save, and Rek couldn't quite reach the rebound. Baudon back down to Rek. Spins away from Orehov. Back is Lorca for it. Laid back around and picked up by Denier. Zagadev works in, holds, speeds it back in front, and Bus with late coming across on that. Now Blacker moves up. Jesse Blacker spins and fires, tipped in front. Bus makes the stop. The rebound hung in there for a moment, but he gets the catching glove down and hangs on. 5:13 to go in the third period. France leading 2-1. Florian Saakashvili and Team France trying to hang on to a 2-1 lead here in Tampere. Adam Gaudet has scored to tie the game at 2 between the U.S. and Austria. Blacker moving up. Mihalis has it. Austria led that game 2-0 at one point.
Amazing how often the teams that are poised to have an upset have a hard time getting over the finish line.
Right.
And give up goals in the last 5-10 minutes.
Volk knocks down that pass, comes streaking in. Volk shoots. Short side. Buse was looking the other way. And that shot hit him in the mask.
Almost like he wanted to turn his head to seal it against the post. A lot of this.
Yeah, a lot of these scrums where they, remember they used to blow the whistle of blow play dead. That's long gone now. Mihalis skates right back into that scrum.
Let's try it again.
Probably going to have to get a new puck after this shift.
Take the biggest piece and get going with it. Trey is just digging in there.
And it's banked by Blacker back down the ice, and all that leads to an icing. And a face-off right back down in the French zone.
Well, France is going to be cute with their who was on the ice, who was not, as they try to get all 5 guys changing. Previous chance from Volk. Tight angle. And you're right, he does. He hits Buse on the side of the head, trying to bank it in and actually hit some square. Sort of comes back where it came from. They see the shaking his head. Is that because it hurt or because he didn't like how he played it?
Face-off won by Clairot. Bertrand on it. And that's chipped into the French bench.
But
3:59 to go here in the
this would be an incredible venue for concerts. The same reason it's good for hockey.
long shot floated wide by Overtu. Svedberg. For Denier. The bouncing puck was back into the French zone, but it's quickly pounced on by Shestakov. Moved around by Shevchenko. And the battle continues mostly in the French zone. Shestakov, a long shot goes off a leg, and we've seen so many pucks deflect in today. Denier takes the return pass. Shestakov back up for Denier. Swings that back to Shestakov. Spins away from Clairot. 3 to go. In the third period, Svedberg banks it off the end boards. Just pokes at that, but it remains loose. Now a chance at the side of the goal. Svedberg gets up, still loose to jam away at it. A late whack taken there by a Coles that draws some attention, and now
look out, officials tied up.
Pinot threw down a Colson.
Worry about the official who fell down as well. And we've already seen a dumb penalty cost the team. Jesse Blacker took a similar kind of penalty in a scrum late. It was a power play goal from France that has given them the 2-1 lead in the second period. You don't want to risk that. If you're the French team, you're defending so hard. Buse gets himself in trouble here because Thierry's skating on his stick. So he never quite gets squared up. Svedberg, hard to sneak anywhere when you're 6'8", but managed to sneak down for a shot. And that's 5 French players holding hands in front of the net.
Stop! Stop! Stop!
They're not listening to you.
No, not for them, it's not.
Stop!
That's when the officials go down, fingers are on the ice and the skates, and they're not wearing gloves. And I think one of the red linesmen getting patched up right now for that very reason.
So 2:50 to go in the third period. The faceoff is in the French zone. A little early for a goalie pull here for Yuri Mihalis.
This is like a quasi timeout there, so he gets his first line out. They're arrested. They can play a minute and a half, call a timeout. They can almost play the rest of the game if they're able to get control of the puck. Tommy Natalia from Finland over between the benches. Looks like he's getting his hand taped up. And if this takes too much longer, we can just go to... There he goes, ready to go. One linesman, but we're good.
Draw control by the French. One by Ritz. Bank back down the ice. And ranging back is IIHF. Icing was waved off as Texier got a stick on him. Mihalis brings it ahead. Rek back with it. IIHF, rink wide pass to Volk. Now Volk collided there with Gallet. And back at center ice, picked up by Rek. Fires it back down to the Kazakh zone. Both teams will change here as Blacker picks it up. Is this a trip up the ice where the goalie comes?
They can get possession.
No indication he's coming. Here he moved that away. Svedberg battles behind the goal and picks the puck out. His pass back though misfired. And Timothy Bozon has it back now for France. In comes Bozon. Fleury. Acts out in the corner. And Denier. Up for Starchenko. Still no indication of the goaltender. That pass is broken up. Picked up by Timothy Bozon. Walks in, holds, and shoots. And Shutov has to hang on to that with 1:23 to go in the third period.
Timothy Bozon's had a strong game. He skated with it well. Controlling play, and Mihalis is being very patient with his goaltender, maybe for good reason, as there was a couple attempts that would have been on an empty net had he pulled him earlier. Pretty stoic back there. Not a lot of movement from Yuri.
No, didn't even look back at the goaltender. The goaltender was kind of waving, looking for, Shutov was kind of looking for instructions.
Wandering out of the net.
He's got the cold shoulder from his own bench. Faceoff was won by Vault. Banyakov. Rink wide for Blacker, gains center ice and chips it in. Here they come now. Mihalis now they motion for the goaltender to come, so Shutov heads to the Kazakh bench. On comes Shevchenko as the extra skater, but it's picked off.
Oh, he didn't get the red line.
Net.
My goodness.
And misses.
My goodness.
So icing against France, and the faceoff back down to their zone.
I mean, timeout coming up right away, but Gord, you know it's okay to shoot the empty net. You don't have to be on the right side of the red line, but if you have a clear path to get there, take it.
Right, 2 more steps.
2 more steps and he's fine. And if you also notice, he tried to place the puck in the net. If you're going to shoot it, think about trying to pass the puck to a guy standing at the goal line. Do you think you can hit a paddle that's as big as the net? More often than not. If you try to pass it, but when you try to gently guide it to the net, I would err on the side of heavier passes, heavier shots, instead of aiming too much. But that puts France in a now where they got to go into a defensive zone face-off positioning, and Kazakhstan can set up their offense. Six guys. They have Claro out there, which is the guy they probably would want to take it anyways.
Yeah. So 6 skaters on 5 for Kazakhstan. 56 seconds to go in the third period. Volk will take the face-off against Claro. And Kazakhstan gains control. Blocker feeds it across. Svedberg, a shot that went off Ritz. Bounces to the side of the goal. And a quick chance there for Mihalis.
Oh, that was Resch right off the goal line.
Resch had to take that rolling puck and knock it back down the ice.
Wow.
Blacker up for Svedberg, rink wide to Volk with a head of steam. In comes Curtis Volk, poke check there by Gallet. 25 seconds to go in the third period. Centering pass goes right down to the goal, knocked away by Bus. Mihalis, wrist shot. Bus got a piece of that. Blacker drops it back. Svedberg, fan of that shot, picked up by Claro. He'll softly chip it out.
With 15 seconds left, yep, that's the play.
Rink wide pass for Blacker, jumping up, and he's taken off the puck by Gallet. And time winds down, and France records a come-from-behind 2-1 win over Kazakhstan. France now 2-1 in the tournament, and Kazakhstan drops to 0-2. France will play Germany tomorrow. Kazakhstan's got Switzerland on Tuesday. A game between teams in roughly the same weight class, and for France, that's a big leg up.
They played really well in the third period as well, with the lead until the last 2 or 3 minutes when Kazakhstan made their push. This was the one that got a little hectic. Hughes gets off the post for some reason, and the puck kind of bounces in behind him off a kick, off the net, and a poke. And guess who's there? The guy who iced it, forcing the defense's own face-off. He's down on the goal line to make sure to get that puck out of there as Resch saves the day.
So France has now won 3 in a row against Kazakhstan at the World Championship.
It's a big win for France.
Yeah, very big. Coming off a 4-2 loss to Slovakia. Time now for the player of the game presentations, and then Les Marseillais, the French national anthem.
The best players of both teams will be awarded by Tissot, the official timekeeper of the 2022 IIHF Ice Hockey World Championship Tournament. Kummankin joukkueen parhaan pelaajan palkitsee Tissot, vuoden 2022 IIHF jääkiekon MM-kisojen virallinen ajanottaja. The prizes will be presented by palkinnot jakaa from the organizing committee of the 2022 IIHF Ice Hockey World Championship, Marianna Auro. Best player of team Kazakhstan. Kazakhstanin paras pelaaja tänään, numero 43, number 43, Andrei Shutov.
So Shutov got pulled in the loss to Denmark, but comes back tonight. Faces 23 shots, allows 2 goals, both went on deflections.
Best player from Team France, Ranskan paras pelaaja tänään, number 42, 42, Alexandre Texier.
Texier.
2-point night.
Yeah. Had the goal to tie it at 1. And an assist on the game winner.
They need offense from him. He provides it. He's doing his job.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're able, please rise for the national anthem of the winning team, France. Arvoisa yleisö, jos pystyt, pyydän nousemaan ylös kuulemaan voittajajoukkueen Ranskan kansallishymnin. The 2022 IIHF Ice Hockey World Championship Tournament will continue today in Helsinki Arena at 8:20 p.m. with the game Team Denmark against Team Switzerland. Welcome. Vuoden 2022 IIHF jääkiekon MM-kisat jatkuvat tänään Helsingin Areenalla ottelulla Tanska-Sveitsi kello 20:20. Tervetuloa.
Jesse, following an opening 9-1 loss to Denmark, Kazakhstan responded with the opening goal today. How important was that in keeping today a much tighter game?
Yeah, you know, that 9-1 game obviously wasn't our best. You know, from a man in there, every guy was off that night, and you know, it's hockey, it happens. So tonight was obviously a big bounce back for us. Unfortunately, you know, we fell short there, and you know, we have to go back and regroup and look forward to the next one.
A tough penalty led to France's power play chance. What happened on that play in your eyes?
Oh, well, I thought it should have been both guys. I mean, it's a scuffle like that, you generally don't take one, but you know, they made their call, and we'll have to live with it.
After your opening loss to Denmark, you had a players-only meeting. What was discussed during that meeting? What was the main takeaway?
Well, I mean, we'll keep it in there, but I mean, for the most part, it was just, you know, this isn't, everybody needs to be better, and, you know, it wasn't acceptable, basically.
Jesse, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
A come from behind win today. How does it feel to get the first victory of the tournament?
Real good. That was a huge game for us, so we're really happy right now.
You had the power play goal to make it 2-1. How important is it to capitalize on those opportunities?
We knew that the special end is going to be important, and that was the case tonight. So I'm glad that's I'm scored, but the work was also in front of the net, so I'm really happy.
France really limited Kazakhstan's chances in the third period. What was the key to close out this game?
We tried to keep our game simple, like play north and south, and that was the key, I think.
And if you could also answer that question in French.
Merci aux supporters, et c'était un plaisir.
Thank you.
Minä sinut aina. I'll be watching you.